When you come in the basement from outside, this room right here that's going to have the washer and dryer in it, this has a concrete slab. Now it's really crude, but it's concrete. When you come into this part of the basement, it's a step up, and this is some sort of a framed up floor of some sort. When you come into the, I'll call this the main part of the basement, the first room in the basement, this too is plywood on some sort of framing. And you can see around the edges this dark stuff, so that's kind of a moldy mess. I think what's going on underneath this wood, this is either built right on the dirt or it is built on a slab of concrete basically, and it's not letting it dry out, so it's just a nasty mess. So I think I'm just going to tear all this up and see what's under all this, and I may just have some concrete poured in that room and this room. I may even go over this room right here with a little bit more, but I'll probably just leave that just to get a masonry surface back into this basement. That'll be a much drier, nicer thing than trapping moisture up underneath this floor. I cannot take my mask off right now. It is really bad down here. There's probably some nasty stuff I've got stirred up, all the mold and mildew and mysterious stuff going on. But the floor is all busted up. Right now I've probably got 3 inches more of head clearance in here, maybe 4 inches depending on where you're standing. So it's not a lot more, but there's some sort of a concrete slab, what is all this, so some sort of concrete. I bet it's super thin, but it's better than what was in here, just a bunch of rotten wood. So all these 3/4 inch tongue and groove boards are really nice. I'm probably just going to keep all those. You can see right there. So that's a bunch of them. There's quite a few. I'll pull those out and use those somewhere else. Maybe in my workshop I'm going to build. The staircase needs some work. And I'd like to get rid of these 2 supports if possible. Because they're really not doing what they should be doing. It's basically supporting where this opening was cut out. So this was probably cut out later on. You can see the footing right here. My guess is this was just a crawl space that was dug out and then converted into this little halfway basement. So a lot of junk in here. I'm going to get everything loaded up that I'm going to throw away and try to get it to the landfill before they close. This is the foundation to the chimney that used to be in the house. So I already kind of hit it with the sledgehammer some and knocked some off, but it's solid concrete. Luckily it's not reinforced with any kind of steel, so busting it apart is not impossible, but I don't want to just wail on it with a sledgehammer only. So I've got my hammer drill, and I'm going to drill some holes in it first, and hopefully that'll create some different points that it'll fracture on. So hopefully this works. If not, I am considering getting a jackhammer so I can maybe do the jackhammer on this, but the jackhammer's kind of big, so it'd be hard to kind of go into the side. Although I could probably go at the bottom, knock it over, then bust it up. But we're going to try this first and use the sledgehammer afterward. I have not worked on the house in about 2 weeks, hence not having a video last week. But I'm back. Had a lot of stuff to do, working on some tables and other income related and family things. So I'm back here in the basement. And what I need to do right now is get the wood floor out from under the air handler for the heat pump. So I've already kind of scraped it away in that corner there. But I can't just remove it because it will just fall down, and it is connected to all of this stuff. So the actual copper lines coming in, the duct work and all that. I've got some flexibility in the duct lines. They've got this, I don't know what you call it, but there's that kind of boot between them there and then there, but I still want to support it. So I'm going to attempt to wrap some straps around it, and then I'll hook onto those straps and hook up to the ceiling and just kind of pull it up tight, and then I'll be able to kind of just scrape all that out from up under there. And then I'll probably still want to bust the floor up a little bit up under there somehow, and then you know, for fixing the rest of the floor, you can see how bad a shape it is. Super nasty. Let me show you something. We'll look right in the bottom of this box here. It's probably about this much of that. That's cat hair. Whole inside of that caked with cat hair. Now the inside's got that insulation in there, but all the rest of that is cat hair. While I got this all opened up, I'm gonna get all this sucked out with a shop vac down to a nice cat hairless surface. Got everything out of my way. This is being held up by the straps, and so now I'm gonna start busting this up with the sledgehammer, and hopefully I can bust it all up with the sledgehammer. Otherwise, I might get me one of those Harbor Freight jackhammers, the big electrical one, the biggest one they have. We'll see. Not a problem. Let me bring you in closer. For the most part, it's basically hollowed out by that Groundhogs. It's making it easy. Then the areas that's still solid under it, it's be just a little trickier. Well, ladies, I think I'm going to go ahead and call this video here. Let's go over some things, talk about what I'm going to do next. Here's this floor. It's all removed. And I'm dug down. There's still some, so I'm basically down in kind of dirt and the graveliness. This is some sort of, I don't know, leftovers from like a foundry process that they had mixed in or put underneath the concrete as sort of a gravel. All I've done is shoveled it all out of the window for now. I was going to wheelbarrow it away, but I just started dumping it all right there because I may use some of that back in here to kind of backfill some of this area. And I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to go with this floor yet. My initial idea was to dig the dirt down about 6 inches and then prepare the base, get everything all smoothed out, leveled out, rebar, mesh, all that in place, and then have some concrete brought in and smooth it all out. My reason for wanting to dig it down would be just to have more head clearance in the end. But this floor over here, if I did that, I would have to have a step right here. So I'm not sure if it's better to have a step and have at least this room be more head height, or if it would be better just to go level with the top of that slab and have kind of a lower ceiling in here. With a, to kind of get an idea. So if I'm, I think I'm 5'11", so this ceiling is only, well, you can see I could just kind of reach up and hit it. But as soon as I step down even in this part, I'm starting to reach higher. And if I go over in that, the lowest corner, and I reach up, it's almost 8 feet over in that corner. So I'm almost thinking that it would be better to just drop it down, have that slab poured in, have a step right here, and then I want to remove this. You've seen me trying my best to break it loose, but it is really solid. So I think I'm going to use a jackhammer and kind of bust that out. And then so when I pour this slab, that'll be kind of a repair that's poured into here. This floor over here, I'm sure it's not much of a slab, but there's not a single crack in it anywhere, so I'm not going to mess with that. And then because the other thing too is that I'm a little concerned about is, you can see there's that going down, and this is probably the footer. My guess is that, this is where it was dug out, then they formed it up, they poured the footer, and that's where it was flaring out into the bottom of the hole. It's probably not too much further under that, and that's probably the reason they stopped here. They were probably down to the foundation. So when they probably dug this basement out, probably dug it out several feet to make it from a crawl space into a basement. So I don't really want to bust this up and dig down to where it's like an 8-foot basement, because I may go below the foundation. I've been in old houses before, kind of on the inside, digging around where there was a crawl space, and I've hit the bottom of the foundation where I could see dirt going underneath it, so I was below the foundation. I've seen houses where the foundation was only about 6 inches underneath the top of the ground. So a lot of older houses, they weren't going way down below some frost line and doing big footers. So that's that for this room. Just kind of need to think about it a little bit. Got the whole indoor AC unit floating. Then what I did in here is, let me shut this door. The light may look better. Give it a second. I've gone ahead and painted that wall right there. So I just painted it white with that kills stuff. That just blocks out stains. Works good on basement walls like this. So this isn't below, we're below the ground, but this is not exterior walls, so they should stay pretty clean looking. Well, right here is some dirt, comes up to about right here on the other side of that wall, and then right here. I'll probably paint around this whole room eventually, and then I will probably come in here and pressure wash the floor. All the water just runs right out the door in this room. And then may do a basement, concrete paint the floor just to clean it up, since this is the laundry room. And then I think probably I'll probably leave this table in here, but just cut the legs down shorter. It's a bit tall right now, and have that be a laundry table. That's a piece of OSB on the top, so I may laminate some sort of a smoother surface material on that to where it works good with folding stuff, or somebody could just put any kind of table they want in here. Getting the water heater hooked up right now, so I just got the electric hooked up, and then now I'm gonna get the water lines for the washer set, mounted to the wall, and then I've got to plumb the other pecs up into that half bath. Then I want to go around to all of the lines and plug them all to where I can pressure test the whole system, and also want access to my outdoor spigot. I want to go ahead and clean off the outside of this house, which I'm going to pressure wash, and then I'll probably end up repainting the house and probably replacing the windows and then the shingles. So the outside of this house is pretty much going to look brand new, except for a little bit of funniness in the siding here and there, but otherwise it will look many times nicer than it does. But I think just seeing these walls being painted is starting to show sort of the direction. Of course, it's not beautiful or anything like that, but that has just gone ahead and just cleaned up those walls versus them looking, you know, something like this, where there's stains and there's paint peeling. You can see right over there under that workbench, you know, it's stuff like that. So I just kind of knocked the loose stuff off and then painted them. So you can really start to get in an area and really get it cleaned up looking with some paint, if paint is all it's going to take. So I think that is pretty much it. This video did take a little bit for me to get it out, but I've been doing, it's way too bright out there. I've been doing a lot of stuff lately that has kind of delayed me working on the house, editing the videos, and so forth. This video is coming after my last one where I had the sponsorship by Simply Safe. I was really pleased by everyone's response. Thank you for all the positivity in regards to me getting a channel sponsor, video sponsor. I thought it was a really cool process working with the people that I worked with, kind of setting up that sponsorship and all the details that had to go into it. Really liked doing it. It was cool setting up the security system. I thought it was pretty neat too, because that sponsor was so related to what I do here on the channel. And I would prefer to keep things like that, but I am open to sponsorships by other companies that may not be specifically home related, but topics, products that I am personally interested in that I think other people would be interested in. And since I did that video, and sort of around that time, even before I posted that video, I've been having other people contact me, which is pretty neat. I'm just kind of determining what things I want to do. I've already turned some stuff down that financially was kind of painful to turn down, but I just didn't feel it was a very good fit. And I didn't want to get too doodaddy as far as what kind of products that I was going to talk about here on this channel. So I think that is, excuse me, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you all very much for watching. This video didn't cover as kind of a huge amount of progress. It was just a lot of work to get that slab kind of busted up and out of there, and the floor out of the way and all that kind of stuff. But as far as all those termites go, that's not something to worry about. In the end, I'm going to have this whole house treated. That was basically wood right on the ground, whether it was inside the basement or outside in the yard. That's going to happen. You can't have wood in contact with the ground like that. And then even as far as the rest of the house can get termites all into it. The foundation on this house is mostly solid concrete, but then there are sections that are cinder blocks. And in the case of cinder block foundations that are not solid poured afterwards, you can have termites go right up through the blocks and into your house that way too, and they're fully protected inside the house. So having your house termite treated, they come out, they do an inspection, then they shoot the poison directly into the ground all around your foundation. I think they can even drill into the block wall and inject the poison into the wall. Then they kind of seal up the little holes they drilled. And then as part of that, they do these annual inspections. And I think when you have insect control, pest control stuff, if they do their service and then they do their regular inspections and then there is any damage in the future, that it sort of like has a little insurance policy sort of thing where they cover the cost of the repair work if basically if their product fails or their service fails. So something to consider for y'all out there. This house is not too badly attacked by bugs. Any old house is going to have it. Most of you out there, if your house isn't brand new, you've gotten something's happened in your house. There's some water's leaked and you've gotten some rot, some mold, some mildew, or a bug is in there somewhere. It's very, very hard to keep that out of a structure. It is one advantage to having houses that are fully masonry or something like that, masonry steel. If you have wood, it does have its issues, but if it's kept up properly, it will last an extremely long time. So that's enough. This video, I don't know how long it will be. I kind of think it's going to be a long one, even though it didn't cover a huge amount of steps. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. If you have any comments or questions, leave them down below. Check the description of the video. I'll put pertinent links there as well. And then I'm always having people send me a message or leaving comments under videos that go, I didn't realize you had other YouTube channels, so if you're still watching this video at this point, all the way at the end, I have another channel called The Homestead Craftsman, where I make furniture and other stuff, so it's woodworking, metalworking, knife making, engraving, and any kind of thing else that I feel like fits that channel. And then I recently started another one where I talk about financial matters regarding this type of stuff, and then some of it kind of drifts into me just trying to motivate people to kind of do what it is they really want to be doing. I think that's it. I have another channel called Square Inch where I started making a tiny house, but I haven't posted on that in a long time, but am getting back on that project soon. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.